Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're back for episode 2 of the Locale Lounge. Today, Nick and Marc are going to be discussing how they've scaled SEO Locale, what the plans are for 2025, and just to give you an insight of what goes on in these two gentlemen's brains. Gentlemen?
Yeah. So, I mean, it all really started out, I apologize for Meadow Soprano over here, office dog for the day. I mean, it started really with cold calling. That was the only way. That was all that we had. You know, SEO takes time to really start working for you. So what we did was we had this scraper that would go through Facebook business pages, and it would scrape like their business name, phone number, emails, and I must have had thousands of businesses that I could call throughout Philadelphia. And I literally, all I did for the first 30 days of SEO Locale, was it June 17th or July 17th? I think it was June 17th until like July 17th. All I did was phone call all day, every day. Got rejected out the ass. But I did land 12 to 14 clients in that first 30 days. And that was all I needed to get kickstarted. And that floated me through the next year where we were going through 12 to 17-ish clients until Nick finally joined in 2018. That's how it started.
So how long were you doing it by yourself before Nick jumped in?
It was just that year. It was that first year.
Which was 2017?
Yeah, summer 2017 to May of 2018. Nick had a non-compete that we were waiting to expire. He had honestly, like, he had like this really nice paying job. And I told him, I was just like, you're an idiot, dude. Like, I don't know what you're thinking you're doing.
Well, they offered me double my salary, and that's
double the salary.
It was decent. But honestly, could be bigger than that over time. So
yeah,
why take that quick pay and then have the employer hold that over your head and feel like you're stuck versus be your own boss and be able to build an empire? I mean, yeah, it sucked the first year, but it's totally worth it.
Okay, so what did you change up? How did you scale SEO Locale when you came on a year later? Marc's out here cold calling people, getting rejected probably about 80% of the time.
Much more than that, pal.
99% of the time.
Yeah.
90% of the time. So when you joined on, how did you scale it? How did you continue to grow and move things?
Honestly, it was as simple as updating my LinkedIn, and I had a flow of like 10 people reach out to me like, oh, I didn't know you were doing your own thing. And then, they kind of called and I told them like, look, I'm joining Marc Brooklyn here at SEO Locale. And they're like, oh, sign me up, because of the experience I had with them, previously, and just the way that, I drive by results. I drive by making sure that the client is taken care of. And I've done that ever since I had my own business in 2003. And it really just brought those people in just by updating a LinkedIn. It's proof in the pudding. It's, I did the work in those clients' websites in the past. I've helped them. I've sat there and told them the truth. And that's really how that kind of built up a little bit. And then, our SEO really started kicking in. I want to say about 3 months after I joined, it really kind of like popped off. We started ranking first position for SEO Philadelphia. And then we just started getting a kick of inbound leads, each day, almost each week. And the way we sold in the beginning wasn't really being that sneaky salesperson. It was educating the client, like, hey, here's the issues you currently have. Here's what we do differently, and really provide them the proof that, look, we're different. It's the problem with every SEO company. They say they're different, and they don't actually provide the proof that they're different. And with us, it was really showing them like, hey, here's what we are going to do. We'll educate you along the entire way. We're not going to sit there and provide you a, report that's 50 pages long that you just don't understand and you just think you're getting something. we'll provide you a body of work, all that stuff. It's that transparency factor when you get those inbound leads is going to be important to be able to hold, that strong foundation of bringing these clients that we still have today from way back in the day. And once you kind of build that up, the inbound then becomes also referrals, and then referrals become, even bigger and bigger and bigger over time. So like when I first joined and those inbounds came, I mean, I can tell you right now, probably like 10 of those clients are still here from when we had those first inbounds. And, they probably referred us 5 to 10 clients each. Sometimes referrals don't work out, which is fine. But those referrals that we brought on, like we've done good work for, and the key factor of SEO is the transparency part. The transparency that is really going to help the client versus the transparency of some agencies that say they're transparent and not transparent, providing all the proof of body of work or report. This is not a tangible product, so showing these clients over time really what we do, it's just kind of really scaled the business. I'm part of this group on Facebook where it's a lot of like newer people in the SEO world, and they read an article and they think, oh, I can scale my agency by doing X, Y, and Z. It doesn't really work like that. I mean, you can read all day, you can probably buy a program out there that tells you how to scale an agency. What really works is, you as a person selling the service and actually doing the service by educating the client.
I'm glad that you brought up, I wasn't sure you were going to mention it, that Nick had his own company when he was like 13, but he wasn't doing like full on SEO digital marketing. He was just building websites. And luckily he got freaked out and stopped doing that. Otherwise I might not have ever met him. And we wouldn't be sitting here right now.
I didn't get freaked out. Let's just be real. It was 2008, I think it was. Economy tanked a little bit. Not an excuse, but my business model was, just building a website, being done, doing SEO, a little bit of SEO, and there was no monthly residual.
So you were just churning and burning.
I was churning and burning, and people weren't looking for it anymore. And that year, I think I made $30-something thousand.
Well, 2008, that was when the real estate market crashed.
Yeah. So if you didn't get freaked out, what would you call it?
I'm not freaked out. I mean, I had to survive. I mean, I had to somehow bring in money. I've always been like a lone wolf my entire life. So I've been on my own, ever since high school, living on my own, paying my own bills. And I don't know, I've always been a go-getter in that sense. So yeah, I mean, if that didn't happen, well, my company back then, I don't think it would still be a thing today. There were so many mistakes I made that I made sure that weren't going to be made in SEO Locale.
But relax.
Okay, I'll relax.
What I wanted to really point out with him having his own company and him going on LinkedIn, and just by him with all the clients that he worked with in the past, and not just paying clients, people that all the time will like post something on Facebook or post something wherever, be like, I can't figure out this problem. And Nick would just be like, yeah, I can fix it for you. One of our clients, when we were in Jenkintown, she posted in Facebook that something
her
about
laptop.
her laptop had a virus.
Yeah.
Nick said, bring it over, I'll fix it for you. He cleaned it up, and then she signed up for SEO services. Like, Nick was doing that kind of stuff all the time. And it just, one of the big pops that SEO Locale had, when we went from somewhere between 15 and 20 clients, when Nick posted that on LinkedIn, we doubled in size. And that was just from the level of service that Nick and the relationship that Nick had with all these people. Like, they all remembered Nick. They all liked Nick. They all had a great relationship with Nick. I mean, that was huge. And
building those relationships is key, honestly.
Yeah.
No matter what. We don't fix laptops at SEO Locale. It's not what we do. But I knew she was a business owner. I knew she needed help. Even if she wasn't a business owner, I probably would helped her out anyway. She was local. And it's just one of those factors of being able to get involved in the community and getting involved and just explaining what you do to people. And she had no idea what SEO was. She was like, what is that?
Yeah.
So like that was our opportunity to really be like, okay, let me show you what it is. Don't pay me for fixing your laptop. I'm not expecting any money. I was just trying to help out. And that's one of the key factors of like SEO and scaling your agency. You have to educate these people on what it does and how it works and all that kind of stuff. And you might end up doing, you know, a good deed or something like that, and that person will become a client, and it'll be a long time client for you.
I mean, it's oh, there's the wife. It's trust. And I mean, that's why, especially, well, I don't remember if it was COVID or right before COVID, but we were, when we were in Jenkintown office, we went out to all these local businesses. We were shooting videos for them, free
was
of
before
charge.
COVID.
There was no, no attachments, no nothing. But just by doing that small thing with all those local business owners, it at least gave them like, all right, let me learn a little bit more about these guys. Like, these are nice people. I can see their operation. Let me learn a little bit more about what they do. It's all about that trust. There are a billion SEO companies, digital marketing agencies, whatever. And they all say the same crap. Everyone is transparent. I mean, we say the same thing. Everyone is transparent. Everyone has dashboards and reports, and everyone has a good product.
But not everybody has a cool dashboard.
But
like
what?
us.
Not everyone has as cool of a dashboard as us. But like, what people are really buying, in my opinion, at least, is you. They're buying how they're measuring, how much they are measuring that they can trust you. You know, can I trust this person? Does he seem knowledgeable? Do I think he's going to screw me over? That's what these people are buying, and that's how Nick and I have always. I don't even like using the word sell, but that's how Nick and I have always sold clients. We talk to them normal. You know, it's not like, oh, your budget's $500 a month, but think about what you could do for $1,000 a month. You know, that's not really what it's about. It's about figuring out the best way to help this person and their business at whatever budget they can afford. Of course, there are limits. You know, you can't help someone for $100 a month, $200 a month. You know, you just have too much stuff to pay for.
We also see it all the time where a client leaves us and goes to a cheaper provider. I mean, I got a text message today. I won't name the person, but said, I don't know what my SEO company's doing. I was like, let me just throw you in SEMrush and you know, or SEMrush, whatever people want to call it. Throw in a tool, and they're not ranking for anything. Their highest peak was with us, and I showed him it's just branded terms that he's ranking for. And unfortunately, you know, people take that, you know, price and go elsewhere and destroy what was built, you know, with us or with another agency. It's really important to understand the value that you're getting and not just going for the cheaper person or going Fiverr and all that stuff. Like, stay away from that stuff. You know, the saying is you get what you pay for, and that in SEO, it does happen. I mean, there's people out there offering SEO at $99 or guaranteed first page results. It's not always the best solution for every business out there.
Would you say that's a big thing? Because we've had quite a few clients that have left us, and then now they've come back one way or another, and we've seen that everything we did for them has been completely ruined. What would you say to a client who has the mindset of, oh, SEO is set it and forget it, or once I have established, I can't lose it?
Just goes back to education again. I mean, you have to help them understand how many updates that Google rolls out, what your competitors might be doing, all these factors that could be negatively or positively impacting ranking. So it's just not good enough anymore to just, you know, implement a bunch of stuff and walk away. And whenever I'm speaking to a prospective client and they say like, I want to do it for 2 or 3 months and let you guys do what you have to do and then go, I just tell them straight up that we're not the right agency for them, because I can't stand behind those results. I don't know what's going to happen after we do that. You know, it might work. You know, that all of that initial strategy that we implement, it might work. It might work for a month or two. It could work for 6 months, but probably won't. And there's just too many changes going on.
Too many changes, too many ranking factors. There's just a lot going on.
Yeah, it's not, and I never want to be the company that takes people's money just to take their money. I've never wanted that kind of reputation. And Nick and I have always been 100% on the same exact page. I mean, about pretty much everything. But for the sake of this podcast, we have always been on the exact same page as far as our reputation goes and the type of client that we want to work with and how we want clients to speak of us. We've always tried to be as fair as we can. We've tried to be as honest as we can. And that's why we always get upset when we tell a client that we're going to do something for them, and then whatever we said we're going to do isn't done, because it's our name that we put on the line. And we don't want clients thinking that we stole money from them, or we aren't doing anything, or aren't earning their money, or anything like that. Yeah, but that's been a big, I think, another big contributing factor to how we've been able to scale.
And I think in any agency, I mean, there's going to be some slip ups. There's going to be things that kind of go south. It's really about the proactive approach, not being reactive, and really providing the full product and service that you want to offer. And I think that's part of how we scaled. We always made sure if we had X amount of clients, we have X amount of employees, regardless if Mark and I took a pay cut and we had to just to bring on another employee, knowing we're going to scale onto the next level. We did that because we wanted to make sure that from day one till whenever, we're offering the same quality service and product to all of our clients.
And exactly all of those things has led to the most important thing to scaling your agency, which is client retention. And most people don't realize how small the lifespan is of a client in the SEO world. It's less than 6 months. So when we're able to have clients for a year plus, or close to on average, and you're able to continue to sign multiple clients where you're rarely losing clients, that is scaling. That's how we've been able to scale, is just keeping keeping a high client retention, and being able to minimize turnover.
What would you guys say has been your best way to ensure that as you guys are scaling and we're bringing more clients on into this space, that the clients that we have, the quality is not being lowered for those because they necessarily aren't getting as touched as much? What do you guys do to be proactive in that space to make sure that old clients are being touched as much as new clients are being touched?
Well, we always have a growth plan no matter what. So, like, once we rank 80% of the keywords that we're targeting on the first page, we're going to add more keywords. We're not just going to be that type of SEO company that sets and forgets. Mark and myself have kind of seen that in action, and it's not a good way. I mean, yeah, you can do SEO very well for a little bit and then become a little stagnant, and then client doesn't complain. You have that client for 2 years. And then all of a sudden they're turning around and be like, what is going on? My business hasn't grown. So, like, we created a product that is always going to have some sort of growth. And then also internally here, kind of like what I mentioned, every client that we bring on, we're going to make sure we have enough employees to scale on both ends. So we're not diluting our product. We're not sitting there, making this, a churn and burn type of thing. We don't want that. We want clients for long term. We don't make money on clients in the first few months. We're doing a lot of front end work, but front loaded. But on the same front, we are still continuously building their campaign each month, each week, every day. There's always going to be something. As you mentioned, Google is making on average 7 updates a day. Big algorithm updates, maybe about 4 every year, maybe 5. Sometimes we get lucky, we get 6. But we need to make sure that we are on top of those algorithm updates. We need to, there's not a single client that's here that's not touched. And that's the most important piece. Like, there's SEO companies out there that do set and forget, and they don't do anything until you complain. That's not a good match. And that's something we always fall back on, making sure that each client is being worked on. You're a project manager here, that we are continuously doing something for every client that's here, no matter what. Even if they have 80% keywords on the first page or 20%, we're going to continue pushing forward, because we like to show that month over month, quarter over quarter, year over year, that growth to everybody.
That comes down to operations, and that's chief operating officer. Those are the processes that we have put in place. So when we did start hiring people, we have those processes in place. So it's from day one. They know, all right, here's this client that just signed up. I have to touch them at this point, at this point, at this point. And that process, we just did a whole new update to our processes, getting ready for 2025. something that we work on every single year to make sure, I mean, even more than that, multiple times throughout the year to make sure that our processes, the process that we have in place, are to make sure that every client we have is continuously set up to be as successful as possible.
That's important for any agency out there. I mean, even any business. Make sure you have your processes in place and you're not missing anything and you're not staying, behind the game. Those processes can really improve your product and your services, and it can help your employees. They can become more efficient. So there's always something that you can always improve upon internally for your business, no matter what it is. For us, I mean, we're always constantly changing. AI is a big thing, and then it's always something that we can always leverage and balance out and provide more in our product.
Yeah, I will say that I feel like that really sets us apart is that we're constantly wanting to expand a client's SEO campaign. We want to see them grow and continuously grow with an online presence with their business. I tell clients on kickoff calls all the time that if they succeed, we succeed. If we fail, they fail. So, and constantly being able to grow them and expand. And you guys brought up the fact that we have keyword growth plans. I don't think a lot of people know that adding keywords to the campaign, we're doing that free of charge once they hit a certain threshold. So, because you don't want them to get stagnant, you want to see them constantly grow. You want them see them to become an industry leader in that space. Um, how do you see a client approaching that type of level? What would you say to a client who doesn't necessarily see that on the back end of you taking necessarily maybe a hit monetary wise of constantly adding keywords?
I mean, that's the thing. Like most clients don't understand this at all. So it doesn't matter if we're taking it. They're not going to see the bigger picture. The way they do see it is they go to another SEO agency, and I want to say I haven't ran into another SEO company that does what we do from a product wise to the price. We should probably be charging times 10 of what we charge. We do a lot, but we don't charge any additional fees for content. We don't charge any additional fees for development. Everything's like an inclusive product. And I don't think anybody realizes that until they try to see, if another SEO company can take them to the next level, that they're not getting all in one. Or they're spending times 10 more what they're spending now, but they're getting all in one. Um, so I don't think people realize, what actually is involved, and I don't think they ever will until they try swapping, trying a different SEO company.
And you guys have been with different SEO companies in the past, which kind of sparked your interest in wanting to do something like this. What have you taken from that experience or learned from that process so that you know how to scale properly?
As far as scaling,
The dog wants to say hello,
uh,
everybody.
yeah, yeah. As far as scaling, I think one thing, well, not there are a couple things that I learned. First of all, the type of people that you hire is important. Um, the agency that I came from, I feel like the most qualified people weren't always hired. Um, and I had always thought that they could have provided better work, faster work, smarter work, whatever you want to say, if they had better employees. Um, so that was one big one, and that was one, and the probably the bigger one is where I came from. They had 35 plumbers, like right here in Bucks County, that they were all doing SEO for, and the prize managers who are in charge of all 35 of those plumbers, um, are calling him saying like, why am I number 2? Why am I number 3? Why am I number 5? How come I'm not beating all these people? And it's literally impossible to satisfy every single one of those clients. So calm down. One thing that Nick and I started implementing a while ago was trying really, really hard to not work with competitors. And I think that has helped with our retention. It kind of sounds counterintuitive because, oh, you're only working with one person when you could be working with 100. but the retention that we have had with those businesses, because we don't work with their competitors, has been substantially more than I guarantee than any agency who might be working with 100 plumbers instead of just one. So we will, when we're working with a client, we'll determine what's your target area, how far is our radius going, what services are you offering, and we've done a really good job over the last 7 years not working with competitors who offer the same service in that location. We have multiple plumbers, but we don't have multiple plumbers in Bucks County or Montgomery County or whatever. So I think, first of all, it's very unique for an agency to be exclusive like that. But also, I think it's something that the clients really appreciate.
What would you say from that? Because this is where you guys met. You guys met at the previous company you both worked for. What did you take away from that? You were on a different side of that company versus what Brooklyn was.
I mean, I helped innovate at the other agency, and I started to slowly realize my input wasn't, valued at what it should have been. And I was providing, I'm gonna say top of the line, like innovative ideas. I mean, there was things I was doing for you when you were there with the whole email marketing. I saved you probably about 6 hours a day. So knowing that, I can do that and I'm not being valued, knowing are the people under me when I was running development there, are they being valued? And it just really kind of clicked to me like, look, if I'm gonna move forward in my life, I need to make sure that there's some sort of value there. And, in the back of my head, I was like, I am going to eventually be a business owner again. Just don't know in what, don't know what it's going to come up. I mean, the opportunity arose in 2018, and it was perfect fit. But knowing that, if you do have a company and you have employees, you got to understand the people that are providing value need to have that, benefit of knowing that they're getting value out of the company that you're with. But also on the same front of everything, it was like a turn and burn type of agency. It wasn't like you were coming in on as a client and you're valued as a client either. So like the values there just wasn't there. Wasn't the type of agency I want to be part of. I wanted to provide, full product, full everything. And knowing that my innovative ideas can take clients to the next level and save time and really kind of build, a very high quality product at that point.
Yeah, and I think you guys have really developed a strong bond with the clients, setting up. We've done a lot of end of year reviews with clients, bringing them into the office, making them feel welcomed. We had our Christmas party where we invited a bunch of clients here. They were able to enjoy the office space, enjoy the employees, really talk outside of that normal, hey, how's my campaign doing? How's this doing? Things like that. You guys have been doing this for 7 years now. Where do you see SEO Locale in the next 7 years?
You have the business plan?
Yeah, let me get the business
plan.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. Hopefully we're still alive.
Wow, that's a little harsh. 7
I don't
years.
know. Hopefully we have. The thing is Nick and I have always talked about like, all right, what do we want the agency to be? I mean, we talked about it all the time. Like, how big do we want to grow? And then once we hit whatever point that we talked about, it's always, well, we can go a little bit more. Well, we could go a little bit more. Let's go let's see how far we can take it. So like, I don't know. Like before, it was just like, yeah, we'll just do us. We'll have like 100 clients and we'll be set. And then we were like,
go back to that.
huh?
Should go back to that.
It's too much work now. And then it was just like, all right, now we need to hire people. So we got a dev. We hired you. I'm not sure why, but we did. And then, we were able to grow a little bit more. We had interns, and then some of them became full-time employees, grew a little bit more. And then we're like, all right, yeah, let's just grow to let's get 10 employees. We got to 10, then we got to 15. Now we're almost at 20. So I feel like one thing that we talked about is like 30 employees and like 300 clients. And then we can just cap it at that. And then you have an imaginary line of potential customers who or clients who want to work with you. But like, I know myself and I know him, and I can't see a world where I know someone wants to pay us and I say, sorry, we're at maximum capacity. So who knows? I mean, I have for 2025, if we get to 22 employees, that would be awesome. That means we probably added another 50 clients. So that's the start for 2025.
Yeah, the problem in this space, you can't predict, the next 7 years what's going to happen. Unfortunately. And that's why we don't have a business plan. And anybody that says you need a business plan to succeed is a liar.
They're not liars. I just respectfully disagree.
I call them liars. There's nobody out there that can predict the next 5 years, 7 years in this space. I don't care who you are. There's just so much going on. So even a business plan is there. I mean, yeah, you can build one, but are you following it? Probably not, because this space is changing in 5 years, 2 years. It's never going to be like, oh yeah, this is what's going to happen. Like, there is nobody out there that can predict digital marketing. Here's what's going to happen. Maybe that's why I like the space. It's always changing. But I can tell you right now, like, what we're going to be building is more than just SEO. It's video. It's getting multimedia out there. It's podcasting, providing value to anybody out there. So like the next 7 years, I want to educate people on, my background, Mark's background, just, SEO in general, just be very open about, what you're getting and stuff like that. So the whole goal really is to educate anybody. We'll grow the business doing that. Maybe not. But at the end of the day, I know, my experience might help another agency owner. It might help another business owner. So,
Speaking of that, quick shout, any local business owners who want to join the podcast, hit us up.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so that brings me to our final segment, closing out this. Obviously, these gentlemen are going to be looking for your local business owners. If you guys are out there watching this and you guys want to come on and talk about some of your pain points that you're seeing, your personal experiences in this space, or just your personal experiences of what you're seeing and how you are able to grow, or if you're not seeing the growth that you should see, these gentlemen are here to be able to answer any of your questions. What final words do we have, gentlemen, before signing off?
If you want to scale your business, and I think that this really applies to any business, it comes down to, I mean, I don't even think it's really a secret, but it comes down to client retention and maintaining those strong relationships and being customer first and less less payment first, less money first, if that makes sense. If you're customer first, the money's going to come.
I mean, my advice to any business owner, don't be afraid to take that leap, even if you're offered a good amount of money. Because at the end of the day, you can provide a great product, service, you'll thrive. Just make sure you create the processes and make sure you have a business mindset, and not just jump into a business thinking it's going to be fine and dandy, because running a business sucks. But that's the truth behind it. I mean, it's worth it. But at the end of the day, it's, you're doing multiple jobs in one. And, if you feel like you can do it, just take that leap or you'll never know. And yeah, I mean, that's it. And then like employees, if you're out there, I mean, try to innovate and do new things for companies you're with. That always goes a long way. There's millions of new things that could be, created in today's world, especially with AI. Anybody can create anything at this point. So it's a very interesting time we're in right now.
Perfect. Well, guys, I appreciate you stopping by, listening to the second episode of the Locale Lounge. We're going to be coming up with some more ideas, coming up with some, maybe we'll talk about next time the employees, the process that you've implemented.
We'll figure it out later.
You're going to figure it out. But thank you, guys. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. If you're listening to Apple,
Well done.
thank you. And we'll see you on the next episode.